12 brand new albums for the world of power violence, symphonic black metal, progressive black metal, power metal, and so much more. For Out Today and What I Missed for April 26th, 2024.
This is when heroes are made.
First up is ACXDC with GOAT. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. This is an LA band that covers all the ground of power violence, grindcore, hardcore, and all of the violent genres that you can imagine. All with their little tongue-in-cheek style. This is the pure definition of what this kind of band is all about. 17 songs, 23 minutes long. What more could you possibly ask for in a power violence band?
That's it. I cannot work under these conditions. If anybody wants me, I'll be downstairs at McDougal's. Call the weekend guy, I don't care.
Up next is Amiensis with Reclamation Part 1. While this band is spread out across the United States now, I will always consider them to be, first and foremost, a Minnesota band. And between them and Panopticon, we're sitting pretty nice when it comes to Minnesota black metal. Although in the case of Amiensis, they started off with more traditional black metal, more black gaze kind of stuff later, but then they really found their niche when it comes into progressive black metal with a little hints of folk metal thrown in between. That American style folk metal, which I really appreciate. This band just does it so very well. And it's just awesome to see the growth this band has taken. And now that they're behind a label like M Theory, I think they might be actually able to make it to the stratosphere. I can really only hope so, because this is one of my favorite black metal releases of 2024 so far, and I can't imagine much else is going to take over that place.
Verily I declare that the earth revolves around the sun, and not t'other way round.
Stop looking down my blouse, Copernicus.
Up next is Inter Arma with New Heaven. And wow, maybe I'm missing out on something over the course of the last couple albums, but the band has really taken a left turn over the years. Gone are the days of that sludgy doom metal sound, especially on something like my favorite release from them, The Cavern. This album is like Primitive Man. It is dark, it is evil, it is brutal, all the extremes. While it still has some of the doom sound that you know them for, they're really exploring things that you haven't heard on previous albums, like blast beats and the tremolo picking, and so much more that goes into their sound that just sounds absolutely shocking to me. I like this style. It's a bit of a course correction, I almost feel like. It feels very strange. But with all of that said, if you're looking for something on the more extreme end of things, check out the brand new album from Inter Arma. Next up is Stormborn with Zenith. This is the sophomore album from the band, and also the reformation of the band as well, with a brand new singer, and it's great to see the band coming back, as I really did enjoy their debut album, but Zenith is so much better. I love the position that they're in right now. It's just that perfect blend of heavy metal, revival metal, power metal, and do I hear an occasional growl or two, at least in the background? Yes, I do. I really like what's going on here. It's fun, it reminds you of those classic times. Sometimes it has like a Maiden or Judas Priest feel behind it. Sometimes it's more of a Halloween kind of feel. But all through and through, it is Stormborn. And I really enjoy what they're doing here. And if you're looking for that classic fix of revival metal, power metal, yeah, pick this one up.
Magic is dumb? Does this look dumb?
Don't make me come over there!
Next up, we have This Ending with Crowned in Blood. It even says on their page that they want to do melodic death metal, done right, and I couldn't agree more. With their 5th album, they really are doing melodeath right. This is everything I love about the genre. While it doesn't go for like the super poppy, catchy choruses like you would hear in something like Dark Tranquillity or In Flames, it is much more along the lines of like Carcass or At the Gates, all of course mixed in with their own nuances. It is super, super melodic in the right moments, but it is so intense and brutal at the same time. This is the kind of stuff that I love about melodeath that isn't just trying to focus on the pop end of things. This is fantastic stuff and one of the best melodeath albums of the year so far, and probably of all of 2024.
No! Blood!
And finally, for brand new albums that come out today is Vesperian Sorrow with Awaken the Grey Light. Going all the way back to LA once again. This band is exactly what I look for when it comes to symphonic black metal, and it has been ever since I discovered them back in 2011, 2012, something like that. I've been a huge fan of them ever since. It is just that perfect combination of bands that I'm looking for, like Keep of Calcium, Cradle of Filth, Dimmu Borgir, even Opera 9. There's so much to really appreciate about a band like this that really knows how to incorporate those screams and cleans, the over-the-top black metal sound, symphonic elements in all the right moments, and just that pure, unadulterated black metal sound. It's just everything that I'm looking for. And you might enjoy it as well too if you've never checked them out before. Seriously, if you like your symphonic black metal, you need to give Vesperian Sorrow a shot.
I cast a spell on his ass with my foot.
Well, that's everything that I checked out that came out today, so what did I miss?
What I miss?
First up is the sophomore album from Folterkammer with Weibermacht. And if you want that in English, that means torture chamber with the brand new album Female Power. I think that's an excellent way to describe this album. Vocals, female-led, are so extravagant, from the highest of high sopranos to the lowest of lows, with the growls and screams and everything in between. And the music in between is absolutely bonkers. For those that enjoy this kind of music, yeah, it feels like classical music. It feels like chamber music. It feels like all of this put through a black metal band. And for those that won't like it, it really does feel like you're in a torture chamber, so it's a win-win. Everything that started happening from the debut album comes into play on the second album, but it expands even further. The black metal is more evident, the other experimental avant-garde elements are there in full spades, and it just feels like a richer, fuller experience. And if you're down with some avant-garde, symphonic, chamber, black metal music, you can't really do much better.
Brilliant! I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Next up is Fractal Gates with One with Dawn. This is the perfect example of progressive death metal and metal death put together in perfect harmony. You can hear elements even as far back as Edge of Sanity, and also mix them in with more modern day melodeath, with like Omnium Gatherum. You mix those two together and you have something that is technical in the right spots, atmospheric in the right spots, super melodic throughout, and just one of the finest albums in metal in 2024. Although it's been quite a bit of time since their previous album, they prove it's all about quality, not quantity.
Ay, 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 my gates. Ay, Johnny C gave me those.
Tough break, amigo.
Next up is Labyrinthus Stellarum with Vortex of the Worlds. I have to thank the Harsh Vocals podcast for bringing this to my attention. Justin, Christian, nice find. Yes, this feels like cosmic, trance, and black metal mixed together in this very atmospheric, partially raw, but still very clear style that just has this kind of new age black metal kind of feel. It feels like you're lost in the midst of outer space without a planet in sight. It's a deep, dark void. Yeah, like they pointed out on the Harsh Vocals podcast, like, where else is there to explore besides the bottom of the ocean or outer space? Both of those are filled with terror, so it works perfectly for black metal. I really love what this band is doing, And considering this is just their sophomore album, I'm so curious where the band's going to be going from here. But it's absolutely fantastic stuff, and if you want something a little bit different in your black metal, give this one a shot.
Space. It seems to go on and on forever. But then you get to the end and the gorilla starts throwing barrels at you. And that's how you play the game.
You stink, loser.
Coming up next is Los Vostok with Opus Pharaoh 2, Mark of the Beast. This is the pure definition of extreme progressive metal, because it can go from the poppiest of poppy moments to some of the most extreme death metal and black metal moments that you can imagine, all while still being very much a prog metal band. Teddy Moeller and company are doing fantastic work with this. It's an excellent part 2 to the part 1 that came out just a few years ago, but the band feels so much more focused on this album. It feels catchier, it feels heavier, the production is just phenomenal, everything is going in the right way for this band, and I've been a fan with them ever since I started doing interviews and reviews under the name That Drummer Guy. So this band is very near and dear to me, and it's so great to see them come out with some brand new material in 2024.
Yes, this guy rules. Yes.
Up next is Oak, Ash, and Thorn with Our Grief Is Thus. The sophomore album from this Denver band, and it's some of the best music that they've put out so far. Love the debut album, but this one just hits home so much harder. I love the production so much on this album. The musicianship went from really good to really, really good on this album. The vocal melodies and harmonies are absolutely insane. Be it sung, be it screamed or growled, it just works perfectly. The drumming on this album from Sierra White is impeccable. I love it so much, and it inspires me to get behind the kit. I'd love to get back on it one day. But all of that said, this is just the amazing way of making North American folk metal work. It has that folk metal sound, some North American influences, some traditional folk elements, and it just works perfectly from start to finish. This is a band that you need to know about if you like your extreme metal with a little bit of a folk side.
Oh, okay.
And finally today we have Volk with 4. And wouldn't you know it, this is the 4th album from the band in 4 years. Absolutely insane stuff here. Starting in the midst of the global pandemic and pretty much releasing an album every year since. I love what this band is doing here on 4, and I really, really want to check out what they did on the previous 3 albums. What's going on here is insane with their style of mellow black. It is hard-hitting, very cryptic, and a good look at the state of the world in 2024, and of course everything in the world around us. You match that up with some of the best melodic black metal I've heard in a very, very long time, and some excelled production, mixing and mastering a part of all of that. Sign me up, this is my kind of stuff. And if you're looking for something on that melodic black metal side, you need to give Volk a chance, because this stuff is absolutely insane, and I'm so glad I discovered him. Now I'll have to check out the previous 3 albums.
You know what hurts the most is the lack of respect. You know? That's what hurts the most. Except for the other thing. That hurts the most, but the lack of respect hurts the second most.
And there you go, folks. 12 albums down, 48 albums in April 2024, and 164 albums I've covered since January. And still, we're only a third of the way done with the year. So what do you think? Did I cover some good stuff this week? Did I cover some bad stuff? Did I forget some stuff? Am I just terrible from my own personal opinion? Let me know all of it down below. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Coming up in the next few days will be my big Chungus compilation of all the albums I reviewed in April 2024. And make sure to come back next week when we cover May 5th, 2024, going into the next third of 2024. And until then, this is Josh Runquist for the Heavy Debriefings YouTube channel saying, embrace the skullet.
Well, that's the end of me.